Milton's bogey seems to be the specter hovering over women poets or women writers who may find in Milton an identification of poetic strength with masculinity itself. Now, Woolf doesn't try to explain exactly how it is that Milton is shutting out the view, and she doesn't try to explain what the view would look like if it weren't shut out, but inciting the power of what she claims to be this Puritan bogey. Virginia Woolf really subtly reveals, I think, how difficult it is even for her to shut out entirely the real, or it might just be the bogus, power of John Milton. At the very moment that Woolf advises women readers to look past Milton's bogey, she finds herself in the peculiar position of echoing the poetry of John Milton. And this is, I think, an unbelievable thing to have happen at one of the formative moments of 20th century feminism. She's alluding here, I think, to one of the most famous passages in Paradise Lost, in which Milton is asserting nothing other than his poetic power. This is on the handout. It might be on the reverse of the handout. The blind poet calls on the Holy Spirit to assist him in the composition of the epic. He asks the heavenly muse at the end of the passage to help him see and tell of things invisible to mortal sight. And Milton's going to he'll need this additional help from God because, as he says, this is near the middle of the passage, because wisdom at one entrance is quite shut out. Milton's blindness, the fact of his blindness, has shut out his view of the visible world that would ordinarily present itself to him through the entrance of his eyes. And this shutout will enable him, will help him explore the invisible world of divine truth. Now, when Virginia Woolf writes that Milton's bogey has shut out the view of his female readers, she seems to be suggesting that the specter of Milton blinds women to the things that they should be seeing, the most important truths out there in the world. How troubling, though, this seems undeniable, how strange that Woolf, really at her most radical, is echoing the very words of the power that she's opposing. It's almost as if she were saying, in some way, in a post-Miltonic world, which is the world that we all live in, it's impossible fully to look past Milton's bogey. The rhetoric of power, the literary strategies of power, and in some cases the very experience of power and of literary power have become inextricably tied and indebted to Milton. And in this great prophecy of 20th century feminism, Woolf is essentially proposing a cultural revolution. And it's as if the text here were telling us that whether we like it or not, whether we like Milton or not, the language of revolution is one that is forever and always indebted to that boogeyman, John Milton. As Virginia Woolf had written, Milton is our leader. Now, some of you, I'm assuming, will already have read Paradise Lost, and so it will come to you as no surprise that the representation of power for which Milton is most celebrated is the power exhibited in the failed revolution against God. The revolution against God by Satan and his fellow rebels. And my guess is that our sense of Milton's power, however that power is imagined, is intimately related to the way in which Milton himself represents power in the characters of Satan and of God in Paradise Lost. So look at the next passage. This is from Paradise Lost. Satan and the rebel angels have been roundly defeated. They've been humiliated by the Son of God and the other priggish loyalist angels. So they are pained, utterly humiliated. They're prostrate on the burning lake of this miserable new realm called hell. And nonetheless, Satan pulls himself together and begins to analyze, to theorize his situation. He describes for us his own power that somehow manages to survive even a terrifying and humiliating defeat like the one he's just experienced. So this is Satan. What though the field be lost? All is not lost. The unconquerable will and study of revenge, immortal hate, and courage never to submit or yield. And what is else not to overcome? That glory never shall his wrath or might extort from me. To bow and sue for grace with suppliant knee and deify his power? Who from the terror of this arm so late doubted his empire? That were low indeed. That were an ignominy and shame beneath this downfall. Now, we might at first think that Satan's vaunting here is a product of nothing more elevated than hate and a desire for revenge. But Milton's doing something truly extraordinary. And I think that the imaginative achievement here in Satan's speech is easy to miss. Satan finds it ignominious and shameful to lower himself to God, to bow and sue for grace with suppliant knee and deify his power.